So, hello everyone. Can you feel how the energy of today is already different? Can you feel the power of the new year, the year of the horse, this incredible moment, historical time that we are entering in? And that the conversation I have here for you, I have been studying this conversation for already 1 or 2 weeks, and it will be a 3-part episode. People who feel disconnected from their purpose, who feel disconnected from their hearts, who feel disconnected from their body, especially from their passions, from their fire in life, will have a hard time this year because that's the theme of the year. And what it means, I'm also coming back to this later. But first, I want to speak about something that has been really challenging me, triggering me inside. As everybody knows, we have been confronting ourselves to the scandal of the Epstein files, the abuse. But there is a layer nobody's speaking about. And for me, worse than what these men did, what hurts me even more than the men are the women. Are the women in this story. Some of the women in this story who were compliances, who were part, who make this all happen. I'm not speaking about the victims, because even some victims of this story became part of this network to kept continue for so long because they come back. We all speak about being the patriarchy and suffered all these years that the power is in the hands of men and not in the hands of women. But you know what makes patriarchy have power? Are actually the women. Are not just the men who, in ancient times, who raped women, who disconnected them from their intuition, who killed the witches. Has been a long time that men want to take women from their true power, and I think women have an incredible power and have talents and gifts much more than men. We all are powerful, but we are different in the way that our roles in this world and our talents and our gifts and what we are here to bring. What is very uncomfortable for many women who are going to hear this conversation is actually what perpetuates these situations, the patriarchy, these systems that are collapsing, and we have been saying for so long that they will collapse, and finally they are collapsing, are actually women. This happens when women don't protect each other. This happens when women betray each other, when women abandon each other, when women don't stand side by side to other women. When women want to climb in life, want to have an easier life, want to secure their safety, when women are moving from their survival wounds, from their rejection wounds, from their abandonment wounds, they betray women to climb higher in life. They betray women if possible. I'm not saying all women, of course. I'm saying some women do that. And what keeps the patriarchy, men in power, in control over women, is also the behavior of women. One of my teachers was saying today something beautiful. That they say, in this patriarchy era, we feel that men are always in the middle of something. Men always have the last decision. Men always have been the ones in control. But in times when was the matriarchy, was not that the same thing, but women in the middle. Women that are deeply connected with their hearts move from the heart. They will put relationships first. They will put humanity first. They will have decisions that benefit women and men in the truth. They will bring harmony, they will bring equality, that they will bring beauty, they will benefit children. It is saying, especially in Asian traditions and feminine embodiment, Tantra, Taoism, that the positive pole in a woman is the heart, and the man is in their sexual center. And we can identify and justify many behaviors in the world. If we were deeply connected with our souls, Tantra, that is not about the distorted thing that we see nowadays, but Tantra is basically a profound spiritual path and a profound series of methods that help us to connect with our soul, with our purpose, to improve our relationships, to really meet in the most divine way possible, to help us to truly find our mission, our center, and especially unite sex and spirit. If we had sex and spirit united, people wouldn't dare to rape. People wouldn't dare to abuse. People wouldn't offer their bodies as a transactional thing. This distortion only happens when sex and spirit are disconnected. And this is the reason why I want to bring this mission more and more into the world. Because the more we understand the power of our body, the power of sexuality, how divine it is, we understand, the more we are connected, we are able to create empathy with another, the less distortion there will be in the world. And so for me, what shocks me in this whole story of the Epstein files, more than the men, what hurts me profoundly is this feminine layer that silent this. Is the recruiter who, to maintain a certain lifestyle and to be adored by men, to be in a certain social position, sacrificed other women. I don't understand, and hurts me, how is this possible, a woman having pleasure seeing other women being hurt? I don't understand this. And the only way I can justify that is this person is profoundly traumatized, is profoundly in survival and wants to survive in this world no matter what. This is how we become weaker. It's not just because men took the roles from us in hundreds of years ago. It's because women, on top of that, allow these situations to happen. Women don't stand into each other, next to each other. I still remember there was this music festival, like X Factor, and I remember that the finalists will be always men. I don't know if you remember that. And the judge, the main judge, that was the most arrogant, always said, I remember to say to a girl, I know you should win this program, but I know that most probably he's going to win because women don't vote on women. Women don't support other women. And why this case is coming to the surface? For us to become aware of this nuance of the feminine against the feminine. Because we know we have this rape, we know that the system is corrupt. We know that there is rape. We knew that men were in power and getting wealthier in corrupted ways. We knew, our soul knew. Maybe it was not as front in our eyes like now. But the problem is we are entering in a new age where these systems have to crumble for a new era to be born. for us to become aware, for us to stop being blind, for us to support other women, for us to just not say that I want this sisterhood because it's a trend, but because it must be a standard for our humanity, for the way that we are moving into the new world. So the problem of all it is happening, if women were protecting other women, all this scandal didn't exist. As long as I understood about these Epstein files, is not that he was taking all these children to families. Some were taken from families, and we have known the case in Portugal, for example, Casa Pia, that indeed these children were taken from their families. But many of the girls who went there, they knew perfectly what they were going through. Let's not just say that it's all men's fault. This is what I'm seeing in the news. And I'm not supposed to be, and I don't want to be a channel for news. But my purpose here, and the purpose of what I do in life, is to bring awareness to the feminine behavior, is to elevate the women, is to make women more empowered, to make women leaders. And women who are embodied leaders, they don't support this kind of network, this kind of systems. Because if you are so anchored in the heart, you will never be able to be in a system like that. And I'm not just talking about the extreme. This is just an extreme. But women do that in their lives every single day. Every time that they betray a girlfriend, that they lie to a girlfriend, that they try to steal the man of another woman. Some women do that not just because they love the man. Some women do that because they want to show the other women that they are powerful. It's an ego thing. Women who just do that to feel better in front of other women. I am better. He chose me. What shocks me in this whole case is the fact that the victims, some of the victims that I don't consider victims, I consider them another women who were part of the network, women who initially were victims, abuse, but there is also a level of abuse. What is truly abuse? Because for me, abuse is a woman who was forced to have sex. But a woman to whom sex was offered, there was pressure, because sometimes this kind of abuse, it's not just like a yes and no. Sometimes a woman doesn't have the confidence and the power to put their boundaries. Sometimes she freezes in the situation. And this is what I also have compassion for, because I know how hard it is to put boundaries. I know that women have been abused for many years. I know that women have been diminished by their families, by their childhood, and they have difficulties in putting limits. And some women were not like properly obliged to have sex, but they just couldn't say no, they were afraid. On that sense, is not complete abuse. Women do that sometimes in their relationships, in their marriages, when they have sex, when they don't want to have sex. So that is not abuse. That is self-betrayal. And so in this case of the Epstein files, there are the abuse, there are the victims who were half abused, they were victims of the pressure of the other, but they were self-betraying themselves. And there are then other cases who they knew perfectly what they were going through. They came back. Because when it is said to a woman, if you come back, you receive 15,000 euros to have sex with a prince, don't tell me that this is abuse. And coming later in life, and this is the shadow that I want to enhance, later in life saying that all of that was abuse when you were part of a system for years and years, doing that in exchange of luxury lifestyles, cars, apartments, master degrees. That is not being a victim. That is a consensual, conscious act where you transact your body for money. And that has a name. I'm not here to judge, but what I criticize is coming later in life saying that you are a victim and you were abused, because that is called opportunism. When you want to do that kind of job, then commit to your word, and if you regret it later, then do the inner work to forgive yourself. But then don't blame the other because of something you also were responsible for. If you come back, then it's your responsibility. We are the temple keepers of our bodies. Seeing this everywhere in the world, where students sleep with teachers, where actors sleep with directors, with real estate brokers sleep with buyers to buy their houses. So this happens to climb in their career. And what I find opportunism is later in life, taking advantage of this wave has one more way to earn money. And this is what I found an incredible hypocrisy in life, because there is nothing to judge. And I actually have helped women on coming out of this life for a more integrated path with their bodies. What I find insane here is not just they don't do the inner work, but that they project their inner frustration and their incapacity, and instead feel this void and this pain by blaming others. And for me, the reason why I'm highlighting that is because these people are taking the spotlight to women who were true victims in this story, who were raped, who were profoundly abused and never came back. These are the people who deserve the attention, who deserve to be heard and have justice in all of this. And so women who act like that shows that you were part of a system that broke the feminine, the sacredness of the feminine. And in this whole story, this is what hurts me the most, is to see women disrespecting themselves so profoundly in this way. And I wish that everyone who is speaking about that could only not just pointing the fingers to the man, but also look the behavior of especially who was recruiting, because not just the main recruiter was a scandal, but the women were being paid to recruit other women. How can you know that this is a vortex of pain and you want other women to be with you? You know why we do that? Because when the pain is so strong within yourself, when you don't know how to hold it alone, you can't dare to see other women happy. So when women see other women happy and they are not happy within themselves, they want to destroy their happiness and they want to drag that women in their vortex so they don't feel alone. And this case was perfect that it came now, because it's an extreme of an exaggerated nuance of what women also practice in their daily lives in a more subtle way. Women feel sad and they go and judge other women. No, because she has this, because she's pretty. No, she's all vital, she has a great life. no, she must be, an escort, or she has a parallel life. No, it's the husband who provides for her. No, she was born like that. She comes from like, there is always excuses to not see the power in other women. There are always excuses. Tell me, women who are here, if you don't see this happening in subtle nuances. What is happening in the world is basically an exaggerated layer, an amplified layer of what actually we see around us. Women can be cruel. Women can be strategic. Women can sacrifice each other to feel more powerful. And this is a profound shadow. The next month inside my academy, because of what is happening nowadays, is going to be around the shadows of the feminine. We have been talking around the shadows of our daily lives, our ancestors' childhood, but there are deep shadows around the dark feminine. When the dark feminine is not integrated in their sexuality, in their relationships, their wounds, women do that. Why this is happening? Because women were raped years ago. Women were killed in the Inquisition. Inquisição? I think I'm saying it correct. Women were betrayed by men. And so hundreds of years after of women have lost their power, there are women who want to climb in life no matter what. And the women who want to climb no matter what in life, they are capable of everything. Women betray other women when they protect the predator to protect themselves. Some women invited other women so they could protect themselves, so they were not chosen and abused as many times, so they could share the pain with other women. How distorted this is. How many times we see women dragging women into not good choices because we have done them, and we want them to also experience the pain that we experienced before. I'm giving you an example. When a woman enters into a room, and let's say that she enters in the meeting room and she's being humiliated by men or humiliating by other women, whoever, she's being humiliated. If it's a man, most likely other men will stop the drama, unless it's something that other men want that drama. But women, they don't interrupt. It's very rare to see a woman standing and defending other women. Actually, the memories I have from being defended, a part of my mother, was by men. Very rarely. The jealousy and envy I suffer nowadays in my life is not from men, it's from women. Women who are so unhappy in their lives and see other women happy, radiant, magnetic. I go through this all the time. They will always say, no, she has that life and she has that success because, she's attractive, because she's beautiful. She has her sexuality. She's connected with her sexuality. She's talking about tantra. She's probably a prostitute, for sure. That's also one of the first projections. When women are really jealous of the shine of other women, they will say something like that. And being a magnetic woman entering in my world, and women know that entering in my world, and they feel magnetic. Women start to receive, flowers from men. Women start to be noticed by men all the time. Men start to reach out. This is something that happens in my field. It's very common. when women enter and do my practices, because your magnetism radiates. But the problem, it's holding that magnetism, because as you expand, some women will also feel triggered by you. And so some women will project, she's tipo, ela é uma oferecida, ou ela, like all kinds of things. She's with, you know, when they say, she's adored by many men, she must be an escort or something like that. Like it's very common in our world that this happens, and you have to deal with that. Women who feel disconnected from themselves, and if in this year, this is the year that most will benefit women who are embodied and in their fire, women who feel disconnected from their fire will have a really hard time. Women who don't have a practice, women who still move from survival, will never be able to be authentic, will never be able to be magnetic, because this year is not going to be possible in any other way. Women who are completely disconnected from their femininity will not succeed in their businesses, in their job, in their relationships. And it's hard to look into ourselves. And this is the reason why in my communities, we are so bonded. And I make sure that I see all my women. I make sure that it's not allowed to criticize each other. It's not allowed to interrupt each other. All women are seen. All women are celebrated. We need more spaces like that. More and more. We need every day to feel held. I really imagine a world where women are in their power, are standing next to each other. Because that is the only way that will bring equality. It's not by entering to the drama. It's not by pointing the finger to the man. I don't believe that that is the way. And this is why when people tell me, you shouldn't use this platform. A friend of mine recently sent me a message. I shouldn't use your platform to just talk about the women, but also talk about the news. And I said, to see the news and to see the shame that is these Epstein files, you go to the website, official website, and you start reading. Here, I want to focus on taking women out of those shadows, making women aware. There is no more time. We're entering into a new world. We are finally getting out of the matrix. It has been years we are saying that the systems will collapse, and the time has come right now. It seems unreal, but it's happening. If there is a great service you can do in this world to stop these systems and to help this corrupted system to crumble, is to look into feminine shadows, is to look how we betray ourselves and the other, and why. Because until we understand why is it coming from, until we start questioning why the things are the way they are, why we have to think the way we think, which are other ways, we will not create a new leadership, a new world. And so women are not weak. Women are not fragile. Women are powerful. Women are simply disconnected from their bodies. One thing I'm going to tell you, what is the purpose of feeling all this orgasmic energy? I don't teach women how to have orgasmic energy just because to have better sex with their partner. I do it because when you feel this orgasmic energy inside of you, you feel your true power. You feel the immense power that women have. You feel that Shakti force that ancient lineages speak about, that only women can channel. When you do these practices, when you tap into this power, when you feel it, when you feel your body having these mystical experiences, and you healing your womb, you healing your ovaries, you healing your illness with the power of your energy, you start believing in magic. You start believing that this energy can heal the world. And the leader you become with this level of power that is intrinsically connected with the heart is a woman who is going to do great things for the world. Is a woman with, when she has money, she uses money for the greatest things in the world. Today I was doing a treatment, skin treatment with my, by the way, I have no makeup. And you see, like, I look like 20s forever, with my dear Dr. Pedro Melo. And we were talking about these shadows. Was incredible because we were talking how women, especially women who are not educated, women who learn to earn money fast. Okay, this is the reason why women enter into these networks, is because they want easier. They want fast tracks. But in life, there are no fast tracks, my love. If you want to become that person, you have to do what it takes to become that person. Women enter into these systems because they want to protect themselves from the predators, because they don't want to be alone in their wounds, because they want to have money fast, because they become addicted to create money fast, and because also they don't know how to create money, hold money, sustain money. So we were talking about women who have this kind of lifestyles are there, and also football players, some like of them, not all, I don't generalize. I'm talking about people who have these behaviors. They spend all they earn. There are football players who earn a lot of money and they spend everything, and nowadays they live in parents' house. How is this possible? There are women who earn 10K a week being luxury escorts, and then later in life, when their bodies, their faces, when they get older, they don't have money because they didn't know how to hold the money. They just basically were spending everything that they had. They had no education on financial management. They didn't invest on their education. They didn't invest on themselves, knowing their gifts, knowing their talents, to then create new pathways. And as I said before, I have helped women who are in this kind of lifestyle to get out of this lifestyle, to get to know themselves, to get to know their talents, and be able to build a life based on who they are in their mission, and invest their money in a better way for themselves. And now some of them are creating paths that are much more aligned with their soul. They are much more happy, and most important, they learned to generate money, to generate wealth, to maintain wealth, to amplify wealth, to leverage their skills, to leverage their wisdom. I'm going to tell you something I'm really proud of myself. Every luxury item that I have bought for myself is bought with my own money. When I lost everything and then I received money from Heritage, one rule that I had, because that is also considered easy money because we didn't work for it, we inherited that. I didn't spend one single euro in a superficial way or in a luxury item or whatever. The rule is I will always use this money for my education. And so it went. I paid my master degree in Italy. I studied in Italy. I studied the dream program I wanted. Later in life, I reinvested in personal development, in psychology, in ancient lineages, in becoming the person I'm becoming. And the rest is a fund, is invested. The part was invested, another part is as a fund if something happens in my life. I'm very conscious about money as well. And so I don't believe that you need the guidance of parents, that because you had a different lifestyle, you didn't have the right childhood, you didn't have parents to guide you, that justify the path you take. Because I didn't have parents. I didn't meet my father until I was 19, and he never guided me on life. He supported my own choices. The choices that I listen from my heart. Later in life, 3-4 years later, he died. And all my life, I'm proud to say, all my path was chosen and created by me, by my connection with my heart. So when people don't know how to invest, like learn. I learned how to invest my money. I learned about money. I learned how to create wealth. If I didn't have a good relationships and sexuality, I learned about sacred sexuality, so I can become a better human, so I can be better to my man, so I can have better relationships, so I can contribute to a more empowered feminine. I learned how to design so I can make women looking beautiful, empowered, irresistible, in the most beautiful clothing. I don't know, I learn. I connect with my heart, I follow. So when I hear people that just enter in different paths because of the past, childhood, their survivals, whatever, it's not justification for me. If you are connected with your heart, no matter what happens to your life, you will choose justice. You will choose awareness. And my vision and my path in this life is to bring this world to a new world where women are in power, where women are in their hearts. And I really believe that if the moment that women will lead, and it's not so far away, this world, it's going to be such a better world because women are at the heart when they are connected with themselves. And the only also way that I justify what is happening in the world right now is because women are so disconnected with their bodies. They are not even aware of the trauma that they are doing to themselves, how they are hurting themselves, not just the others, but themselves. It takes a very disconnected woman to hurt herself like that. It takes a woman profoundly in pain to point finger to other women. And so this is what shocked me in this whole story, is the behavior of women. I brought here several archetypes. I'm going to speak some of them. The silent witness. It's really the kind of woman that she sees, she knows. She knows what's happening, but she doesn't speak. She doesn't stand for other women. She prefers to be next to the predator, to the crime, to protect themselves. Have you heard about stay next to the enemy so you don't burn yourself? Get to know your enemy so then you control the situation. Some women do that. And you don't need this whole crime situation to be called this silent witness, betrayal. We see this when women gossip in each other and you don't agree what they are saying about that other women, but you stay silent. You allow them to speak. When I listen something, and I have had many arguments with women, with friends. Actually, there is a friend of mine who stopped talking to me because she was treating so badly an ex-lover. So we traveled together, me, her, and the lover. And the way that she was treating him, it was unbearable. And there was a time that I stand and I said, you have to stop this. And she was a much closer friend to me than him. But I couldn't see a woman losing her power, a woman projecting her own trauma, her own rage towards a man because he was rejecting her. So I had to stand and say, you have to heal yourself. You cannot treat him because he doesn't want you. You cannot do this. You cannot. And here is the dilemma. Should we stand side by side if it's our friend, no matter what? And here is what I think. I think we should stand by the side of truth, by the side of integrity. And whenever we see the feminine also not behaving well, we need to stand by the truth, by what is fair. And in this case, I felt that she was not acting from her highest self. And so standing by an empowered feminine is also being able to call your friend out when you see that she's acting from distortion. And so when I saw her moving from her shadow, I had to call her out. Because my purpose here is to bring integrity, is to elevate the feminine into integrity in a way that she respects women and men, in a way that she self-leads herself, in a way that she knows how to process her emotions and does not affect the entire environment with her own wounds. So standing side by side to other women, it's on the field of an empowered leadership, when women are doing good for the world. Not like in this system that women were calling out other women into distortion. And so, what women can do here, and what is my purpose, is to not just bring this awareness, but to bring the practices that heal these distortions. Because when a woman, I really feel that the only way to heal is women feeling their wounds, connecting with their bodies, doing the energetic work and feeling their own power. Because if a woman truly believes in her own power, she doesn't need to enter in this kind of systems. She doesn't need to enter into a kind of lifestyle that puts her into a dynamic that hurts herself to have easier money. Because she knows that she can create wealth, a lifestyle from integrity, from their heart. If all women touch this level of power, this level of orgasmic, this level of energy that we experience in my programs, at least in one of the practices, you start believing in yourself. Women enter into these dynamics because of fear. What if I cannot earn money in any other way? What if I'm the only one being abused? No, it cannot be. I have to drag other women into this. What if I'm the only woman in this pain? No. When a woman doesn't have the tools to get out of that vortex, what she's going to do is to call other women into that. And so, why I feel that the work I do, feminine embodiment, Tantra, heals all of that, because Tantra comes to say sex and spirit are together. If sex and spirit are together, you will treat your body and the other like divine. Because we have splitted, because religion, systems Patriarchy has shamed women's sexuality, sensuality, has separated sex is something dirty and is not connected with God. This is why people are acting from survival, from primal desires, and not treating sex as something sacred. If we were treating sex as something sacred, like Tantra says, all this wouldn't happen. If people were integrating the light and the darkness means integrating their own shadows and having a healthy darkness. We wouldn't have these systems, this corruption. But because there are also lineages who just look into the light and the light and the light and don't look into the shadows, they're unconsciously manipulated by their own wounds without realizing it. Because we demonized our dark side, our desires. And when we demonized our desires, it creates obsessions and fantasies. When we repress, it becomes obsession. So then when we separate the darkness, when we don't integrate it, all these corrupt, distorted systems get created. Do you understand why it is so important to do inner work? Everyone must do inner work if you want to do great for the world. And I believe that the greater people with the greater hearts already understood this concept and are already doing inner work because they understand the better way to change the world is to change themselves, is to become aware of this topic. The recruiter, as we said, she sells danger as opportunity. She feeds it like the main woman that was recruiting all these women. She feeds the system. In the end of the day, she just wanted to be protected by the men. When I really tried to go deeper, why she did this, how come she could see other women in suffer? How is this possible? It's because deep inside, she wanted to be protected by these men. Because when you put yourself in a position that helps them, they are going to protect her. And this is a distorted mentality, and we see this happening all the time. And we have to stop because we think that women are weak, that we cannot stand over them. When the room is too powerful, is exactly when women get tested, who they truly are. And another shadow is the opportunist. The opportunists are the victims who were abused. And not all of them were really abused. They were invited into self-betrayal. And they choose to come back to have an easier life. Because why? What is the wound of this woman? She doesn't believe in herself, that she can do better than that. And so she has to work on her self-worth. She has to work on her boundaries. She has to meet her talents. Because if you knew yourself, we all have talents. And if you knew all of them, you would never enter into a dynamic like that. The gatekeeper, the one that stays silent, what's her wound? I'm going to deliver you so I don't get delivered. I'm not afraid. I'm afraid to speak my voice and what I think because I'm afraid to be punished. I cannot put boundaries, so she has to work on her boundaries. She has to work on her voice. Do you see? And we all as women have this in the collective. And we all have nuances of these behaviors in our daily lives. And so the next month of my program is gonna be, this is just an entry, because we are gonna work in all these archetypes. There are many archetypes and many shadows that we need to address. And the reason why I know that this is a time to address them, it's because this case came to the surface. If this case came to the surface, is to highlight what we have to work on is that. Why this case came now to the surface when the main character of this team is already dead. Died already like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. The main recruiter is in prison. So there is no, it didn't come to punish the abusers. It came for us to see what we need to work on ourselves. And today is the year of the horse. We enter in the year of the horse, and is the year of embodiment. More than ever, if you really want to become a true leader, you need to look at these shadows right now, this year. And this is exactly what we are doing in our program. Today, I'm here with all prepared for my ritual and prepared to let go what no longer serves. Because the reason why it's coming to the surface is because we are shedding the masks. I have seen women in the last 2 weeks revealing themselves. The wounds of women being completely revealed. Some clients of mine are not sleeping. Some others are expanding. Everything is being revealed because the truth is coming to the surface. The systems are collapsing. We finally, the era we have been waiting for so long is starting. And this is an historical time to be alive. We are witnessing the beginning of a new era. We are witnessing new leaders rising through the power of their authenticity. We are going to watch people becoming wealthy through their goodness. We are going to watch leaders rising through the power of their embodiment and their energy. It's an historical time to be alive. It's not a year to fall asleep, because the next year, it's when the codes will be imprinted in this earth finally, like the process that has been cooking for the last decade is going to close. And the new way is being born. So, with that, I leave you, and I hope to see you around. Have a great day, and all that you think today, all the great things you think today make them reality, and all you want to let go, put your intentions, because today there is a portal that can define your life. See you in the internet. Bye-bye.